Well, welcome back, everyone. It's Light, Camera, Action. It's Make Our World Your Runway. You know, this is the weekly show that interviews the most fascinating individuals from the world of modeling, fashion, beauty, pageantry, business, and even the entertainment industry. And as I always say every week, we've got a fabulous show planned for you today. I think all my viewers are going to love this. But of course, we like to make a couple of special announcements. And the first thing we like to do is to thank all the sponsors that make this show possible every week. And that is the Global Trade Chamber, 100 Successful Women in Business, Lux Salon, the Beauty Queen Network, the Tower Club, United Way of Broward County, Vita Designs, Casa Calabria, and the Bangladesh American Chamber of Commerce. So sponsors, thank you so much for making the show possible. And I also like to tell my viewers, remember to subscribe to the Global Trade Chamber YouTube channel so that you can see all the shows from Make Our World Your Runway and Success Stories. And I highly recommend that our viewers do tune into Success Stories. This show features the most amazing women in the world of business and community service. From humble beginnings to successful entrepreneurs, these women will totally inspire you. And as always, get ready for some exciting conferences, speakers, as 100 Successful Women in Business and the Global Trade Chamber are going to be coming to a city near you. And that next city is going to be in Atlanta, and that's going to be on September 19th. It's going to be another powerhouse show with speakers, exhibitors. It is a free event to attend, but as I always tell everyone on our weekly show, you must register because these shows are a total sellout. And especially if you want to be a speaker or if you also want to be an exhibitor. So you can go to two websites, www.100swb.com or www.globaltradechamber.com for all the information. So remember, register now. It's a great event. It's a great way to promote your business and to learn about other people's businesses. And it's a great collaboration. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to our show. And I am so honored today to have this very special lady, who I have said is also the executive producer of Make Our World Your Runway. She's the CEO for 100 Successful Women in Business, and she is going to tell you about a wonderful, wonderful opportunity called the Personal Brand Accelerator Program. So please welcome to Make Our World Your Runway, Maria Renee Davila. Maria, welcome to Make Our World Your Runway.
Thank you, Angela. I'm super excited. I think this is the second time that I'm in your show, but it's been a long time, right?
It has been a long time, yes.
Super happy to be here and to share the updates that we have with the chamber, the programs that we are all the time, trying to come up with new ideas based on what the market is looking for, what the demand and the needs are for our members and non-members as well. But first of all, I want to congratulate you. Your show is going super. Every time it's going better and better and better. I'm super happy to be the producer of this show.
Yes.
And I'm very happy also to see that you have a fabulous guest in your show. I've been learning a lot, in different shows. It's something else that we can learn. I learn a lot about the beauty queens, and something that I noticed. I will say 90% of your queens, they are beauty queens, but also they have another career. They are already successful because they are also running a business, or they are doing something else. The last guest, I was very impressed with all the curriculum and the experience.
Alessandra, yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's not only a beauty queen, she's a career woman. But again, that comes from, like I always say, mentorship. And I always tell people, when they say, oh, you've got a successful show, I said, don't give me the credit. I said, give Maria the credit. Oh, I said, because Maria mentors me. And, I always tell people it's very important to have a mentor, as the way Jenny does with Alessandra and some of these girls, because you could be doing something for years, but someone else could notice something that you're doing wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay? There could be one little thing that could turn it around. That's why they've asked me to judge American Idol, and I said no. And they said, why not? They said, you've been a singer, you've been trained. I said, because my ears hear what someone else doesn't hear. I said, forget it, they'd all get zeros. But it's true, because I would see something that they cannot see on stage, okay? So like you've given me advice about doing the show, and that's the beauty pageant girls need that as well too, because sometimes they worry so much about the crown, but they don't worry about the success that goes with the crown.
There you go, and that's very important. But in general, when you talk about the industry, the beauty pageant industry is changing.
It is.
I've been seeing that more and more they are selecting queens that are, they have prepared, they are successful already in some kind of, some way in some industries. They are very prepared. Like a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken, from Bolivia, the Miss Bolivia.
Yes.
She's actually a girl that is from a city that I believe is after 40 years that this city won the title. Because before that, it's always, the same city, usually Santa Cruz, Bolivia, but now was Oruro, which is something that it was a shock for the country, because after 40 years, this lady got the title as Miss Bolivia. And why I'm mentioning this part, it got my attention, the fact that she is an attorney.
Yes.
She speaks 3 languages, and she's well prepared. I mean, when she starts talking, she really knows about the subject. She understands about, anything that you ask. Right. So you can notice the difference. And that is very important. I noticed that the beauty industry is not about just the physical appearance, your body, your face, but now it's also about what you have behind that and inside.
And inside, yeah, exactly. That's true, because, you can have that crown on your head. I have a saying, our crown has been the key to success for so many women around the world. Look at Akshata. Akshata is a dentist. She owns the International Glamour Project. She just started another business. She also became a creative director with me. So look at how Akshata evolved. And when I first met her, she was not involved with all of that. And now she mentors girls, and she's even involved with Miss Universe. Mm-hmm. She's now sending girls over to Miss Universe, so which is great. And she said the same thing that you did. Pageantry is changing. The preparation for pageantry is changing, because it's not just about going on stage and looking beautiful, but you have to answer questions. You have to know what's going on, and the world is changing. So that had to evolve at the same time. So a lot of people are still very misconstrued about pageantry. They think a lot of women just parade around on stage and, they're just there in a gown or a bathing suit. But you're right. Who's becoming a doctor? Who's becoming a lawyer? Who owns their own company? I mean, these women, it's unbelievable. I mean, a prime example is, look at Gal Gadot. She competed in Miss Universe, made the top 15, didn't make the top 10. Somebody was sitting in the audience, they said she'd be a great Wonder Woman. Now look at her. Now she even has a business on the side, but she's an actress.
But also she served her country, because she went to, I don't know if it was what kind of recruitment is, but she served in the country, which is another important aspect in her life. It's not just a beauty. But something also that we can mention here in general about the industry is that as a woman, you feel like as a woman, you feel like it's a balance now. Exactly. It is about your appearance, but it's also about the preparation that you have. Right. And to find that balance and the combination of that is causing a lot of stress as well.
Exactly.
So what you mentioned about the mentorship is very important, because you need to have people behind you that is going to help you to go through that process.
That process, yeah. It's like what you're doing with this new program, the Personal Brand Accelerator Program. People that have businesses a lot of times don't know where to take it, okay? And if you have a business, sometimes you got to think beyond. You have to think about, well, who can I connect with? Who is going to be behind me? How do I get this business out there? Do I really work with a PR company, or do I work with a mentor who's going to give me ideas, who can get my business out there, and everybody can make a profit, but at the same time, people are noticing your business.
Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to launch the Personal Brand Accelerator Program for everybody that wants to see more. I'm going to share the information. We have already on the website information about the program. But based on what you're saying, it's so important for you to focus on what you do, because what you want to do is really to grow your brand. Right. But you need to know how. And this is something that I noticed on my, now I will say 17 years as a CEO of the Global Trade Chamber, and my over 25 years, in general, as an entrepreneur. Right. I can tell you that the majority of ladies, especially ladies, I noticed that they don't know too much how to do the branding.
No.
So the branding is not just creating a logo, having a website. Branding is a general concept on how you can build trust,
Right.
how you can build a relationship and trust in the process. So to get to that point, you need to create a whole idea, whole awareness in the community about what you are, who you are, and what you can offer to the society.
Exactly.
So that is a very important program, and that's why we believe that this Brand Accelerator Program so far is getting a very good response with our members and non-members, because we teach them a lot of things in this program. A few things that we can mention, because I know we don't have enough time to talk about the whole program. One is the visibility. So we definitely, with this program, we help you to increase your visibility.
Exactly.
Visibility is not just about, posting in social media some pictures or what you did the weekend or what event you attend, but it's about creating content that is attractive, that people is gonna start following you. That's another mistake. A lot of people just make, comments on social media, or they just do a post without a specific goal.
Right.
So every time you make a post, you need to have a goal. Why you're doing that? Why you're posting that? What is the goal of that? Who you want to reach?
Right.
Another thing that is important in this program is, like I said before, how we can build trust and credibility.
Right.
That is one of the most important aspects in branding. If you don't have credibility, people is not going to do business with you.
Exactly.
If you're not building trust, people is not going to trust on what you can offer to them.
Exactly.
But to get to that point, you also need to build, it's a combination of activities that you're going to do to get to that point where people is going to say, you know what, I want to do business with Angela, not because of what she has to offer, it's because I trust Angela.
Right.
And I'm going to do it with Angela because I know that she's not going to let me down.
Exactly. And you're right about that, because, again, there are so many people out there that we were just talking about that earlier this morning, that say they can do a lot, but then you go to find out they really can't do anything. And then all of a sudden that credibility is lost, okay? So people need to be guided, okay? And sometimes when you're first putting a business out, some people try to go too big, and that's not good. You have to do it in steps. Okay. Like you said, you have to create a visibility. People have to get to know your business. And as you're going along, then you start to build a great reputation. Prime example, Elaine Vasquez, who does Hispanic Women of Distinction. When she first started out with her luncheon, she only had 80 people at the luncheon. She's got a luncheon coming up next week, 1,200 people. But look how many years. This is our 25th anniversary. Look how many years she took to build that, but now she's got the credibility that people go there, they want to sponsor the event because they've seen it grow year after year after year, and she's got what they call name recognition.
There you go. That's absolutely important. And like you said also, Angela, it's very important for you to focus on only one specific thing. And then as you grow, as your business grows, then you can expand to other services, other products, other ideas. But if you're trying to do a little bit of everything, probably that's the growth you're going to have. It's going to be a little bit, instead of going, potential, growing fast, because you don't focus.
Exactly.
And that's another problem with entrepreneurs. I see every day entrepreneurs that they have so many things to offer. And then when I ask them about what you do, what you are expert on, so they cannot describe themselves because they are doing too many things. So focus on one thing, become an expert in that thing, and then you can expand to other things as well.
Exactly.
And that's part of the brand accelerator program. And of course, the overall goal in anything that you want to do in life is to make money. But to get to the point where you can monetize your brand, you need to build it.
You do.
And that's why we decided to launch this program. We call it the Brand Accelerator, because during 8 weeks, we're going to help you step by step on how you can get to the point where you are ready to monetize your brand.
Exactly. And I think that works even for beauty pageants too. Like we talked about going to Italy next year, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, well, Miss International World needs to be in this Personal Brand Accelerator Program for 2027. How do we get, what are we going to focus on? If we're going overseas, what are we going to focus on? Like you brought up about women in business. Now we started this year the Miss Entrepreneur, which is all about a woman being in business, okay? And we've got a girl coming in that's got like 5 different businesses that we figure she'd be fantastic to represent a title like that. Even if she's overseas, there's a way that she can get her word across. So again, a pageantry is just not coming in. Yeah, we want the girls to have a great time, but like we're saying, it is a business, okay? And you have to focus on that and really focus on something that's going to accelerate. Why, and you just gave me a good idea. Why would I want to come to Miss International World? There has to be a focus there. Oh, they're into business. And I'll be honest with you, when I do sell Miss International World now, I always put, and which is true, I put myself and several ladies have gotten the 100 Successful Women in Business Award. People look at that because they're saying, wow, they're into this, they've gotten the awards, and I always show the video of Alexandria getting her award. So people respond more to that because now they figure, okay, Miss International World has a purpose.
There you go.
Okay, they're just not getting on stage. They have a purpose. Look at what they're doing for the women. Look at where the women are going. So, you know, it could be in any aspect, in the beauty aspect. I've got girls that want to get into the entertainment business, or even like with Tina, has given several packages this year where she's going to take girls to different top fashion shows, and that maybe they can get recognized if they want to be a top model and make some money out of it.
Yes, that is the idea, to have a specific purpose on why I'm doing this, why I'm going to compete in this beauty pageant. And like you said, next year we're doing this. We were discussing about some locations next year, because once a year, as you know, we do we recognize successful women in business worldwide. Yes. And next year we're already planning this convention to be in some place around the world. We're going to let you know. Stay connected with us.
That's right.
But yes, definitely the overall goal is not just to receive a recognition, but also all the potential of participating in an international event where you're going to connect with other people from other countries. You're going to build relations. You're going to build trust. You're going to build your network, which is very important. And when you talk about brand is everything. You know, brand is not just your face. It's the way you behave. It's the way you act, is the services that you provide, the activities that you are involved with. But everything has to have a purpose, and everything has to have a goal. And sometimes you participate in things that don't really make you money. So don't waste your time on that. Focus on things that probably at the beginning you're going to need to invest, which is okay.
Yes.
You know, some people think that putting money in some, I don't know, to speak or to exhibit or to participate in something, people have the misconception that you don't need to pay to speak, but you have to, because you are investing in your brand. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your image. You're investing in a platform where it's going to help you to create the brand that you need. So people is going to trust on what you say.
Exactly. But see, like speaking at one of your events, because you have a lot of people that go into the room, okay, and you're connecting with other businesswomen. I've seen some of these companies or organizations where they have people go in and speak, but there's no one really there in that room that you're going to be able to connect with. So you have to know where to go, like you say, where to focus your business and where to speak.
Yes, exactly. The word to speak is very important, because you need to have a clear purpose. And in this year, we're becoming more and more demanding, and I will say a little bit more detail on the type of presentations that we want to have on the shows. Right. Because it's not just about giving you the opportunity to speak at the event, but it's also giving a presentation that people is looking for. Right. We want to provide content that is educational, content that is informational for people to see how they can grow, how they can succeed, or how they can go through some challenges. Exactly. Even though our platform is 100% business to business, we really want to focus on that. We still want to hear about things that are related with your mental health, with your body, you know, how you can take care of you, because we're living in a society now, Angela, where the stress is to the max. Oh. So you really are stressed every day when you wake up. What is your routine? How you can, you know, create activities that are going to be stress relief. Right. And that is important as a woman in business. You need to have a balance. You are a mom, or you have a family, you have other responsibilities at home, and then you need to work. So how you can balance all these by being educated. Exactly. So that is the overall goal of our shows, present topics that are very important for the women in business community. And when you talk about the expo, the goal of our expo business is to give the opportunity to small companies to introduce their services and products to the community in that place.
Exactly. It's all about giving back to the community and the community giving back to you. Look, when we went to London, England, that was a great show. Okay, I mean, the women there were absolutely amazing. I pulled 4 girls out of that show coming into my pageant because, you know, there were people there from the US, people from other countries, and they loved it. And the fashion show was unbelievable. I mean, the designers that we had, I mean, I still got people from England that contact me and say, hey, you know, I even watched your pageant last year when it went live. So I'm still connecting with people overseas. And they said, anytime you come back overseas, let us know. We'd love to, you know, see your show. So that's what it's all about, connecting business people.
Yes, and that is the idea. Based on what is your purpose in life, you're going to also find where is your client. You know, like you need to find where you feel like this is the niche that you have. And you're going to have all the time, like you need to try, you know, try to see if this place is the right place for you or not. You never lose money. No. What you do, you are looking for different opportunities, and that is the way you need to see things. Investing in something is not an expense, it's an investment.
It's an investment. I tell people that all the time. You know, when my girls say to me, well, you know, I got to come into the pageant, I have to pay this, I have to pay that. I said, wait a minute. When I was starting out in the entertainment business, in order for me to sing with an 18-piece orchestra, I had to have charts made up, okay? And I explained, in fact, in a seminar that I did not too long ago for a pageant, to sing with an 18-piece orchestra, it cost me $50,000 just to get those charts made up. I worked at 3 jobs. I got it done. Later on, I got a manager, but I made it back threefold, because once I had that, I was in Las Vegas, I was in Atlantic City, I even performed overseas, but I made all that money back. But it wasn't that I was losing money, I was investing in myself, okay? And the final end, because I had all of that, I wound up getting in Phantom of the Opera. But if I didn't do that, no one would have known who I was, and I would have never had that opportunity to play a major role in Phantom of the Opera. And that was probably, I always say that was probably always the highlight of my career. But I had to invest in myself.
Absolutely, and that's the mentality. Invest in yourself, because that is going to be a return. Return is not just about money, but also return in image, return in clients, return in everything. Because that's what you do to grow, you need to invest.
Exactly.
And it's not an expense, because what you're doing is in the process also learning.
You are, yep.
In the process, even, you know, if things don't work the way you expected, you're still learning in the process, you know. Like, let's say that you invest in whatever activity, and then at the end of the day, you say that, you know, this was a bad investment. Yeah. But it was not a loss, it was just about investment. You're still in the process, you learn.
Exactly. How many entrepreneurs have made money, then all of a sudden went bankrupt, and then started something different and went back on the top again? T. Boone Pickens, who was the biggest oil man in the world, he was in bankruptcy 4 times, then all of a sudden became the richest man in the world. So, I mean, you do hear stories. When I had Carissa Smith here, one of the dining divas, she said, I interview entrepreneurs all the time. She says, don't think that they had an easy beginning. She said, it was rough. A lot of them lost money. A lot of them were about ready, she said, to quit. But then all of a sudden, they found their way, and their business succeeded. Yep.
And absolutely. And another thing that is important in your business life is also to reinvent yourself. Yes. You know, the market is changing all the time. Constantly. And you need to be flexible enough to adapt to yourself with what the demands are in the market. Right. If you know that right now the technology is like everybody's talking about AI, so you need to be on top of that. You don't say, I don't know how to use AI. You need to learn, you need to practice, you need to be involved in things that the competitors are doing. Because otherwise you're going to be behind and then you're going to die. So you need to reinvent yourself all the time. If you see that your market is getting tired, or your clients, you know, you are already used all the potential network that you have, maybe it's time for you to build another network, or maybe it's time for you to start in a new market, in a new city. So always see where you are now. That's that situation that you need to evaluate of yourself and your company, and then say, okay, where I want to go. You know, that's what is very important at the beginning when you start a business, to understand 2 things in your business life. Right. Number 1, what is your mission? So why you are opening this business? What you want to accomplish? How you're going to help the community? How you're going to teach what are you going to exactly do? What is your mission, your purpose, right?
Exactly.
And the second thing, what is your vision? So eventually, where do you want to get?
Exactly.
If you have a vision, why this is important, Angela? Because you need to know where you want to get. So where you want to be in 5 years,
Right.
how you visualize yourself or your company in 10 years. If you have a vision, that's going to be the motivation for you to keep going. And
Right.
you're going to have some problems or errors on the road, but don't stop. Keep going. Don't
Exactly.
give up. Because you have a vision. That's why.
Yeah, you have to have the vision and don't give up on it. I mean, there's days where I get up and I go, uh-oh, everybody gets disgusted somewhere along the line. And there's always going to be problems, no matter what you're putting together. Life is, they always say life is a bowl of cherries, but you got to go through a little bit of the pits, as they always say.
Exactly.
But I always tell people, look, there's always, at the end of the road, there's always that silver lining, okay? You can never give up. If one thing fails, go someplace else, because once you do that, then you might as well give up totally. Okay, I always say if that's the case, get in the ground now, because that's where you're gonna go.
And one of the things that I still learning, by the way, because I'm coming from an executive background, a corporate background, and I'm not too flexible like Al. Al is more like a community oriented, right? In my case, it's more like, okay, how we're gonna execute these things. But through all this time, I learned that you have to be also happy with what you do, right, and enjoy the process. Because a lot of people focus only on the end, like when I'm going to be there,
Yes.
But you don't enjoy the process. So
No.
people can feel it. They can feel like you are not enjoying what you do. So it's important.
And you brought up a very good point. And I see that all the time. Like you said, Al is he's community, and he always was. Okay, that's how I met him. But there's a time and a place, because at one time I used to just go to almost every event that was out there. But I had someone say to me one time, what are you getting out of those events? Reevaluate yourself. You have to be known. You have to be known in the community. But what are you getting out of it? Is there something coming back to you? Okay? Because I'll look at social media on the weekend and who's at this event, who's at that event. But I used to do that all the time, but then I realized, am I really getting anything out of this? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I pick and choose where I want to go, where I know that I'll get a return on investment, even if it's not monetary, but it's something that's going to help me, and I might be able to help someone else. So you have to now focus, because everything is changing. You could go to, there's 7 days in a week, you could go to 7 events, and you could turn around the next week and say,
I'm wasting my time.
I'm wasting my time, exactly. We could be sitting home thinking about and focusing on your business and where to put it and what you really want to do.
Yes, it's a combination of things. You don't say I don't want to go to events anymore, but you don't say I want to go to all the events. So like you said,
Right.
You need to select the events that you think that are going to be worth for you to go, because you're going to have some kind of benefit.
Right.
And that's another thing that is part of the accelerator program, how you can build your network. We also teach you and advise you on what events you should be going, what events you should not be going, because the reality is also that now, even though we are living in a digital era, you still need to have face-to-face contact.
Yes, you do.
So you cannot just focus on doing business through social media,
Right.
or videos or WhatsApp. You
Exactly.
need to actively be involved in activities where you're going to meet people in person. And we're losing that, Angela.
Yes.
People is looking more and more, they don't want to come to events. They don't want to even do virtual events. And we notice, right, when we have virtual events, we have people everywhere and the cameras are off.
Yes.
So why you're joining a virtual event if you don't want to even talk to people?
Right.
So it's just about you collecting the lead. It's not going to work like that, because nobody's going to do business with you the first time.
No,
They need to
no.
build a relationship. They need to trust you. And we go back to the beginning.
Right.
Why branding is important? Because you
Exactly.
want to build visibility and credibility.
Exactly.
So again, in the virtual events, I notice that a lot of people is like, oh no, I'm going to put my camera off. Or another thing they do, after they do their own presentation, they put off the camera.
Yeah, I don't do that. I stay on because I might put myself on mute so that people don't hear anything. But I stay on because I'm listening. I can shake my head and say something, or I'll give somebody like A plus or whatever. But I've noticed that too. When they're on a Zoom call, okay, they just shut that camera off, and I'm saying, why even bother getting on that?
Exactly. And the problem is that when you do that, people is not going to remember you.
No, they're not.
They're not going to contact you.
No.
If you're going to events, virtual or in person, just to collect leads like business cards or names that then you can send emails after, it's not going to work for you.
No, it's not.
Because people don't want to be sold. You know, like they don't want to. How many emails are you receiving every day? Text messages, calls,
Right.
emails. People is getting overwhelmed
They're getting
with
inundated,
all this
yes.
information. So you really need to be unique, and you need to have a unique value proposition
Right.
to get their attention. But you're not going to get that attention by an email or just a call. You need to build a relationship with them.
Yeah. It's all about, but that's what my husband used to tell me when he worked in New York City. He said, why do you think I had the major accounts? He said, I build relationships with these people. Because anytime they needed a network, they would call me first and say, can your company do this network? I mean, Dale Carnegie still is infatuated with the fact that he had a $4.5 million sale with IXNet Global Crossing. But my husband nurtured that deal. It took him about 1.5 years to get that contract, but he did it. And in the telecommunications industry, that's a lot of money when you're doing a $4.5 million sale. But again, like he said, there is a way to do it. And you know what he always says? One Al says, if you're not networking, you're not working. And my Al always says, promise what you deliver and deliver like you promise. I got to hear that every day.
But it's true, you know,
It
if
is
you
true.
promise a lot of things and then you don't deliver, so what is the credibility that you're building?
Right, exactly.
People is not going to trust on you. And the other thing is also that the sale is not going to come up immediately. You know, we have been seeing people at the chamber that they were following us for years, and then after years they decided to become members.
Right.
Or they have been following us on all our events, but then after all this time they decided to be a speaker, or you know,
Right, exactly.
because you don't say no. I mean, you don't eliminate people unless they
No.
say, "You please don't send me emails or anything." They're still part of your network,
They're still part of
and
your
you never
network.
know when people is going to do something with you.
I have the same thing in the pageant. A lot of girls will say, no, I'll do it next year. They watch me, then all of a sudden, you know, I want to do your pageant now. I've done a few others, but I really want to do yours. So I don't say no. I say, no, it's more the merrier, you know. But I understand we only have about 10 minutes left, so what would you like to tell our viewers?
Well, definitely, I want to share with all of you that we are all the time working for you, creating new programs, new benefits as a Chamber of Commerce that you can enjoy. We are a global organization, which means that we have our mission is to reach companies worldwide. Our mission is to connect buyers and sellers worldwide. And our vision is definitely to be the leader in a global connection. So we're going every day, we're building this purpose with different programs, with different benefits. For today's specific show, I definitely want to invite everybody to learn more about our Personal Brand Accelerator Program. It's an 8-week program you're going to enjoy and you're going to love, because we take your business from this level to this level. We're going to jump whatever stage you are. If you're just starting, you're growing, or you want to expand, we definitely can help you. I also want to share with you that what Angela was saying at the beginning, we have the Women Business Expo. This is a fabulous roadshow that we present in different cities and countries. Starting next year, we're going to expand our reach to other countries with the event. It's one of the goals that we have, to start doing the expo in other countries as we did before with the annual convention. And please stay tuned. If you want to learn more about us, visit our website www.100swb.com or our website globaltradechamber.com. In either one, you're going to find information about who we are, how we can help you, and all the programs that we have available for you.
Absolutely, and I totally agree. So all my ladies listening out there, this Personal Brand Accelerator Program is absolutely excellent. It's going to build your visibility, establish your authority, and monetize your expertise. And if you join this program, we will also have you on Make Our World Your Runway. We'll include that as well, too. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. Maria, it's always an honor and a pleasure to have you on your show. And stay tuned, because next week we'll always come back with a fabulous show. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in to Make Our World Your Runway, and we'll see you next time.